Free Diddy. Hey, where my female subscribers at or viewers at? Cause I need, I need, I don't want to come off wrong on this. I need the female's opinion on this right quick. I was thinking, I had a conversation with a woman last night in my family, and she kept on being like, you know, what is, you know, like if Russell Hughes, you was in 7 cell and 3 block. You was up there by the front with the detail crew. I'm gonna try to remember that. Tell him what you said. I'm sure he gonna remember you was on that detail crew at with Ash. Walekum Salam. What's up? Hey, I don't see a whole bunch of the women that was tapped in yesterday. They ain't really tapped in today like that. But let me ask y'all something, bro. I've been biting my tongue and reserving my comments and opinions about Cassie because I ain't want to really attack a woman or make women mad. But now that the case is over with, I want to ask a question to my viewers and my subscribers and my people that be rocking with me, right? What does y'all view on Cassie? Like, I understand what the jury said. I understand the court of public opinion, right? MC Ren and Orlando Anderson had a fight. Oh, all right. But they telling me, I thought it was 20 million. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. They telling me that Cassie got 30 million altogether from everything that happened. They say Puffin demonstrated a propensity for violence. In the court of law, that's technically correct because they argue part of the defense was not to fight or buck on the domestic violence jump. But remember this, I'm gonna say this too, because I don't see nobody, ain't nobody touching that. His sis and my mother went to UDC together. That's how he pulled me. But my whole thing with Cassie, I don't know about the Jane Doe lady, but my whole thing with Cassie was it was too many text messages where she was initiating free calls, paying, calling, texting, setting it up. And I'm only saying that for the regards to rape and sex trafficking. You need to read what sex trafficking is. Force, fraud, or coercion. Those are 3 main elements. Okay, so they say the $20,000 junk was something was a part of it. Did you read the text messages that came after that though, bro? Somebody said Clyde Davis did that to Diddy. I seen a documentary that allude to that, but it's a whole lot of them dudes like that that was around. I ain't slapped Chris Rock, bro. So you rolling them papers looking suspect. Looking suspect? Suspect in what type of way, bro? Like, we could use suspect in a lot of different ways. Looking suspect in what kind of way? Like, if I don't know how to roll a J? Fuck is you keep talking about DC catfish, bro? I see you saying it like ain't nobody saying nothing about what you saying. Like it's almost like what you saying don't mean nothing. Yeah, but Rockstar. You talking about the Rockstar that's on here commenting? You talking about the Rockstar that's commenting? Hold on, let me see. That ain't the Rockstar Major that I know. I don't know. I ain't sure. That wasn't the one that I know. So it is what it is. On the federal level, that would, but they ain't been messing with dudes too much about it unless you got too much of it. White politics, huh? Let me give you a hint. Money? All right, cool. It's probably stalking. Happy 4th weekend. Okay, yo, what up with Fleece Johnson? I don't follow Fleece Johnson. Why you asking me what's up with Fleece Johnson? You should go to YouTube and say what's up with Fleece Johnson. I don't deal with that. I'm at the. All right, okay, cool. Yeah, I was asking, was he one of the original views? I'm not familiar with that person. At what? Deep down, you know the white man is right. About what? Shoot, I be taking mine out when I leave, when I get on the plane. What's up, homie? What it do? Yeah, man. Not guilty on that RICO jump. For real, bro. Like, you don't understand. Like, I don't like that RICO charge. So, like, a lot of people say, oh, you a Diddy fan. I don't think I can be considered a fan or not or a non-fan. But I don't like the RICO act. Like, share, subscribe, folks. Where all my women at, man? Cause like I seen this joint last night on Nancy Grace. I shouldn't even been watching, but it's one of them joints that came on after something else came on. She had the girl, Tisa tell it something. What's her name? I just want to know. Did he get Biggie? I don't know about that. I don't think so. They will never kick it off. She's a glorified. I don't know if I'm gonna call her that much. He deleted that before I could even see it. And on a quick flip. Question. Was Fat Rodney murder solved? I don't know. Real talk, I don't know. Oh, Tessa Tales, that's what it's called? Tisa Tales? Tisa like Lisa, Tisa Tales. Good morning. Oh, there go Miss Lena. Hey, I was hoping I saw you. Okay, Miss Lena. Going back to yesterday when we was talking. When I came up with this question, I thought about you, Miss Lena. Is Cassie to blame for anything? Like, should she hold any blame at all? That's for you. I thought about this question for you. When I started this whole live, I thought about our conversation. Somebody said, I love Tisa Tales. You do? Yeah, they say she got a bunch of followers. I wasn't hip to her. Come on, folks. Respects the hoes, man. Respect. We on man time, folks. Okay. Yeah, she is to blame for everything. Her litigation started all this. Even the feds say that. Okay, well, Lena said, I feel like she should be accountable on some level. All right, I wasn't trying to get you to go against women, but I wanted a woman's opinion. You know, I looked at my analytics. My analytics is something like 97% men. Somebody else said, hell yeah, she sent that message talking about she always down to get freaky. That's what really raised my eyebrow. We all are responsible for our own reactions as well. True. My grandmother said that all the time when I was a kid. Seems like Cassie was into that freak shit. Ain't nothing wrong with being into no freak shit, if that's what they into, but to act like that he was the only one that was into it is a little different to me. Nah, I don't consider him no chomo. Why? He ain't got no jump for no kids. Everybody has to understand being in a narcissist relationship. I was in one. It's so hard. I'm still on my healing journey and still clouded in my mind. Someone can be a participant and a victim at the same time. Yeah, maybe in child molestation joints, for sure. Some of these battered women joints, for sure. But I still feel like he hold more weight as a man. And he had some money too, so I'll give you that, Lena. She is to blame for staying with him during the abuse. She also is to blame for keeping him in jail with no bond. She says she's scared for her life, supposedly. Yeah, but in another jump, she said she wasn't scared. People need therapy and need to learn how to leave toxic environments. Yeah, man and woman. You need to drop a clothing line over the wall. Everybody needs to educate themselves on the narcissist. If you look around, you even over at my work, we have found 3, and it doesn't end well for them. What is a president sentencing for one offense meaning Diddy case? I don't understand. You're absolutely right. So I assume that you walked away. Yeah, he wants some other shit. He wants some. You want this? So I definitely see both sides and have empathy. You know, that's a very mature answer. Good morning, sir. What is a big bag, bro? From the time I started getting physically abused to the time I left was maybe a year. That's a long time, but you did something about it. I see a lot of stories that I be reading, the people be in them situations for a bunch of years. Just won't leave. Some people don't know how to leave. What gave you the courage to leave, though? Oh, the answer is simple. I wanted to live. So you really felt like your life was going to be in danger. That's some serious physical abuse. Somebody said divorce her. That's like saying Aaliyah was to blame for that R. Kelly shit. Well, I ain't say that now. Okay. I do pull-ups. Ms. Lena said, I knew I wanted to choose me first. I hope you do that forever. This ain't Diddy's first offense, y'all know that, right? Diddy pleaded guilty to something in court before, and everything that happened with the Shine shit is gonna be in this pre-sentence report. He may even get a couple points, but I watched that lawyer, a legal expert last night break his points down. Some legal experts estimate he won't get number 14 points. That ain't gonna be no more than about 5 years max, if that goes like that. But it's all on the judge. Once the pre-sentence report come out and the point system is created, it'll be in his file. If you look it up on Pacer, you can see you gonna see his sentencing sheet. Just like when you look up Meach or anybody else, you can see their sentencing sheet because it's federal. I have a feeling while he's in jail, they're going to rack up some other charges that has not came up. You know, that's always an issue. But, you know, he ain't really, I ain't saying he ain't a tough guy or a guy from the streets, but he ain't a gangster. He ain't got no, well, let me not say that. I'm trying to make a point, like, the track record of crime that he left probably ain't like that. Like, with steppers and big drug dealers, you know they got a whole bunch of other stuff, and once you go to jail, people will come out the woodwork. I ain't gonna put nothing past them. The feds will re-indict him, but they can't re-indict him on none of that shit again. They not supposed to, but Joey Molino, shout out to Joey Molino, South Philly boss. He was charged in Pennsylvania and New Jersey for the same crime federally. I don't know how they got away with that. That's an anomaly. What do you think about the yacht industry struggling to manufacture new yachts due to I don't know. I don't own a yacht. That don't really affect me right this minute. How much time do you think Diddy will get any of the current charges he was found guilty of? Well, both of the charges he was found guilty of occur a maximum of 120 months. That's 10 years. Usually, unless some wild shit happen, the feds don't even hit you with that consecutive jump back to back like that on the same type of charges. A lot of times they run that shit together. But I think he's going to get somewhere between, I was thinking between 5 and 10 and get some time served, because even on 10, you only do 85 months, and he got almost a year, and by the time he's sentenced, it will be in for a year. Yeah, other things can come up. I ain't gonna lie. We all know that. Anybody that watch any of these cases know other things do come up. Yeah, double jeopardy. I'm gonna put my chest on this one though. Double jeopardy is not gonna occur in the same court. Not in New York. I don't believe it will. That shit they did with Jordan Molino, I don't know how they got away with that. Richmond, what's up? Present. Ladies walk away. Yeah. Walaikum salam. Yeah, somebody saying between 27 and 51 months. That's not a lot of time. But he ain't getting no 10 to 20. Man, Rise of Phoenix said, I got a feeling something's going to come up with KK and Diddy's going to get dragged into it again. I don't think they're going to spend that money to play with him. If they come at him again, they're going to come hard, though. Oh, there go my man, Juwan. What's up, what it do? Yes, I go hard for black women, but a liar I can't respect. The fact she tried to get that man out the way for life. Out the way for life over lies, bullshit and criminal. No respect for that cheap-ass chick. The Mann Act was created for black men, for sure. It go all the way back to the black heavyweight champion, Jack Johnson. The law was used to prosecute black men, including boxing champion Jack, oh, you already said it, Jack Johnson, who was convicted for traveling with his white girlfriend. Yeah. Somebody know the law. That's where the Mann Act come from. Somebody know the law. And like people, like I hate when people don't know what they talking about. He know what he talking. They know what they talking about. Diddy got that jump. Because remember, he didn't get people. I see people online keep saying prostitution. I don't think they understand the charge. He got found guilty of providing transportation for the purposes of prostitution. You know, the federal definitions are different for a reason. Yeah, Jack Johnson show got that jump right there. I said it also comes out in their music. I never thought about that, but that's true. Level 14, Category 1 criminal history guidelines are 27 to 33 months. That's right. But post-Booker guidelines are only advisory, now no longer mandatory. So that means that the judge can use their discretion to go under that. And I didn't read this, but I'm gonna look it up today. So the next time one of these little legal conversations come up, I will have it though. But according to a couple different sources, a guideline change was made last year where they can no longer use acquitted conduct against you. So in a way, it's good that they didn't leave a RICO charge open or mistrial on it. They found him not guilty. They saying that they can't use acquitted conduct against you anymore. Most of my buddies that been to trial since before that law was changed, they had acquitted conduct used against them. You say 25 years. Cassie needs to go to jail. Prostitution is against the law. Yeah, but she was granted immunity. Don't forget, Cassie testified for the government. That comes with a favor. So even if we say Cassie should be prosecuted, which I ain't saying that, but that's what other people saying, she should be held accountable. That's what you're saying when you say that. She was granted immunity for her testimony. Then she sued and his insurance paid out the 20 to 30 million. No, she sued first. According to multiple sources, her civil suit, her lawsuit is what initiated the investigation. And she got 10 million from the teletapes. Yeah. Please, everybody, educate yourself with narcissism. It's all over YouTube. Yeah, but a lot of people be accusing people of being narcissists. I had an ex that used to accuse me of being a narcissist. I mean, depending on the person who pointing the finger, everybody is a narcissist too, though. They even had a psychiatrist that went in to talk to Diddy. And she is on YouTube, and she said that Diddy is 100% a psychopath with multiple personalities. With multiple personalities, I'm like, oh my goodness. I don't even like Diddy. I think he corny as fuck, but I hate them using the law illegally to go after black men. I did not like that, and I don't like, first and foremost, I don't like them using this RICO like bubblegum. Now they got these state RICOs. The state RICOs, they even crazier than me. That was the worst thing they could have did, introduce the RICO into state law. But they be giving up sweet cops and something. I know dudes that got 24 months, 12 months off of RICO state cops. Nah, she tried to extort him first. She did. He paid her in a matter of hours, 24, 48 hours or something, they said. Somebody said, oh man, I'm on that Diddy algorithm. I still can't get over the fact that 50 Cent was going to go and meet with Orange Face to tell him why he should not pardon Puff. 50 Cent be with that BS. Well, Diddy should have testified back on her ass for immunity. They were doing the same shit. He can't testify back on her. He's the one with the charge. And they don't want to charge her. They wouldn't charge her with that shit. They wouldn't have had no entity to call the criminal enterprise with Puff having the bad boy and all the business empire. They was trying to paint a picture and create a narrative that the empire was the criminal enterprise, his business empire. Why would a woman let multiple men screw her? She literally could have said hell no and walked away. I try not to judge her for that. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Some people has narcissistic tendencies, but they have remorse until you get into one, then you would know it feels like somebody's running your body and not you. Just ask anyone that's been in it. I got you. But I see what you said on the first part of the sentence that some people have narcissistic tendencies. Yeah, I can dig that. I guess it's just who snitches first. Sometimes it's who snitches first. Like they got a term for that, get down first. But in certain situations, when you the big fish, in this scenario, Diddy the big fish. A lot of time, unless he tell up, he can't tell on nobody. You know, they'll let you tell up. Sometimes they don't let you tell down. Somebody, she said it's very weird. You don't know what's going on with yourself. Lean said, run from narcissists. People run far. She's speaking from personal experience too. Rising Phoenix said, Trump will not pardon Diddy because Trump holds grudges. The thing with him being impeached and how Diddy was a part of it. Yeah, then I seen 50 was showing all them old clips. We got Puff saying, men like Trump shouldn't be empowered. They should be banished or some. I don't misquote me. It's on the internet. I don't want to put no words in his mouth. But when I saw it, I was like, Trump vain enough to fade that. Will Smith and Jada that way. The man smooths his son on live TV. Open eyes. I'm going to tell you guys, being in a narcissist relationship feels like somebody's running your body and not yourself. Almost like you're a cyborg, huh, man? She was 19 when they met him. 32. She was groomed. That's another reason why I ain't speak too bad about her, because she was 19. A lot of the shit she learned and behavior she learned from being in an environment, being around certain people. She picked up on a lifestyle too. But I mean, I don't know what she was into beforehand. He said, bro, remember the days of groupie and pass around? Yeah. I mean, Diddy's still doing that. He just doing it on a classier level. He ain't doing nothing but watching real live 3D porn. Top of the morning from Rochester, New York. Shout out to Rochester, New York. What's up? What it do up there? Girls like Cassie used to date all the homies and get passed around. What y'all think about that? Okay, somebody says about Gene Deal. What's up with that? I believe Gene Deal, when he talked, did he not get bail on a pre-trial decision when he wasn't guilty on the more serious charges? Well, the judge gave a explanation in that matter. The judge said because even the defense admitted to him being violent. But I think they're going to file another bond hearing with another judge just to try it, which I would ask my lawyer to do regardless. So I dated a narcissist who called me a narcissist right after I called them one. That's how you know. And then narcissists, they don't know the word until you tell them. I can relate to that. That happened to me before. The real black attach. In my opinion, the case was a farce. I agree with you. And then hold on, let me read the whole thing. They should have led with the RICO charges instead of focusing on the sex stuff and the freak offs. Yeah, but I think they needed the sex stuff and the freak offs to create the predicate offenses. He ain't accused of selling no drugs, no real drugs, and he ain't accused of getting nobody really, really hurt. I'm talking about like some street shit, that Kid Cudi shit. They ain't even fade that. Oh, Moses, did the sound come back yet? He said she was with Ryan Leslie before Diddy, so who groomed her? I don't even know who Ryan Leslie is, y'all, but I'm assuming from the context of which he said it in that, you know, he do certain things or whatever, but nevertheless, I understand the context of the sentence. Moses is asking, well, who groomed her? I mean, at 19, she kept his attention. I guess we could look at some of that too, right? What about O.J. Simpson? We good? We good? What's up from Philly? Shout out to Philly. The audio back. He said the audio sounds strange. How the audio sound? Jawan, the audio back? Victor Jolly, the funny thing about narcissism is that high in a woman. He said it's high in a woman. It's called passive narcissism. They use emotions to manipulate. I heard that explanation before too. I've never seen a color before. Okay. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Cannot handle real conversations, just idiot fuel. What is that for narcissists? Narcissists. So, I mean, going back to the one like that they said that did the psych evaluation on Diddy that claimed that he's a narcissist. I was watching that Joan on Nancy Grace that had the European dude and the lady on there. They talk so bad about Diddy, like they act like he should never get out. That's a fact. Women are more narcissistic than men. I've never seen, but okay, cool. Cannot handle real conversation. I seen that clip with dude asked the girl if she was married. He asked her if he was happy. She ain't had shit to say. Okay. Not that I'm on anyone's side, but how many people throw freak offs? Let's be real. They can only get him for doing live porn. That's what I called it. But no one is stating the fact that everyone had to sign waivers. Yeah, I mean, that's why they didn't defend. Think about it. If you paid attention to the narratives, because nobody watched the trial in court, everybody got the information from what was reported after that, right? But they didn't even try to defend the transportation for prostitution trial. They knew that's one of them jokes where you say, well, we gonna give them that. I mean, they fought it, but it wasn't. They knew they had that one. They had that one coming. Somebody said, "Get the money, girl." Let's say, okay, I ain't throwing a freak off. Me neither. Not to no level like that, but we done all had certain things we done done in life. Bro, I love your channel and content. Keep it up. DC Blacks need some merchandise. Oh man, I got some physical merchandise. I gotta get the store joint jumping over here. I've been being lazy. So did they give him a plea bargain yet? What you mean plea bargain? They found him guilty and not guilty on certain things. It's over with. He gonna get sentenced in October as of right now, unless they speed it up. They didn't have a good case for RICO. I knew he was gonna get off. I wasn't sure. I thought they could railroad him, but I didn't think that they proved it. Tessa Tales was always updating us every time it was break or when they had some kind of lunchtime. I'm going to tell you, they tried to attack her. Is that true? That's what I said I saw last night. She was talking about they surrounded her, they was threatening her. She talked so bad about Diddy supporters, man. Like, I didn't know if she was being over the top or not, but I saw her on Nancy Grace. She done blew up off of this shit. A lot of more people know who she is now. Not plea bargain, my bad. Sentence is what I meant. Yeah, he gets sentenced as of right now in October. I seen something on the news last night that said they might try to speed that up or something, but I don't know why they would try to speed it up if they're gonna try to get him another bond here. Everybody has their opinion about Cassie and all that has been done. But everybody look around you, the rage that's going on. Man, but that's what I picked up on. The rage that was going on about it. I didn't know that people had picked sides to the point where it was Diddy supporters versus how they want to label those other people, abuse supporters. It's not really a Cassie thing, but I'm saying this to the people. And I know how people are. People hold grudges and shit like that, but who wants to see him go to jail for something he didn't do, though? He was not running the, like everybody keeps saying, I can't believe he's not guilty. That was not RICO. They even had to arrange it and word it and tell you that, yo, if you do this and you do this, yo, this is RICO. They had to explain it to you because everything that the public has been taught about RICO did not occur. Think about the first time you ever heard the RICO Act. The RICO Act. Who you think about? You think about John Gotti. You think about the Mafia. You think about black urban crews, which they start using it on. You don't think about no deviant shit like this. Not when I hear the word RICO, I never thought about nobody got a security team and he bullying niggas in the industry and he having sex. Like, Diddy ain't had to even spend money on sex. He spent money on it to make it extravagant and lavish. You could do that same shit in a Motel 6 if you Diddy. They not gonna charge you, they just want to be around you. But you know Diddy not gonna be in a Motel 6. The only reason why they kicked it into RICO was because payments came from his business account and there was employees involved with this. I think they painted the picture to make it match. But remember what RICO stands for. Racketeer, influence, corrupt organization. Do we really believe that Diddy was running a racketeer, influenced, corrupt organization? Any of his businesses, from any of it, Revolt, Bad Boy, Ciroc. Is that really, are those really racketeer, influence, corrupt organizations? That's what RICO is. Now they want us to say, yo, that's what RICO is, but you know, if you do this and you do that, you're behaving the same way. No, I don't want to hear that. He ain't make his money from no racketeer influence, corrupt organization. He didn't make his money from that. And I ain't saying, and I ain't gonna say that we ain't all see no video of him in the Cassie shit. That is domestic violence. She didn't even press charges. If she didn't press charges, the people in the court of public opinion can't penalize them for it. She didn't press charges. What she wanted? She wanted that munyan. She didn't press charges, so that crime is domestic abuse, domestic violence. And for people to say, oh, well, he wasn't punished for it, he paid millions of dollars for it. Right or wrong. But Bad Boy Entertainment, Revolt, Ciroc, none of those are racketeer, influence, corrupt organizations. And nothing that they do, unless they running rackets or they're influenced by rackets, should be a RICO. 404 in the building, much respect, salute. Aside from Rudy Giuliani, who created RICO and got arrested under it. Rudy Giuliani didn't create RICO. You got to Google that. Somebody, Brick Squad, Google who created RICO. It's another lawyer and a group of lawyers that did it. Rudy Giuliani became famous and became the face of it in New York because he successfully used it to take down the Italian mafia. But remember, Rudy Giuliani is also the same one that used those same laws to break Nicky Bonds. But Rudy Giuliani is not the one that created that law. I forgot the dude's name. Somebody Google it. All you got to do is say it to your phone, type it to your phone. Who created the RICO Act? Another educator, law educator, professor type dude created those laws to hold the people at the top of the chain accountable for every action that's done underneath it. So much so, he made the law so complex, he had to teach lawyers to prosecute it. Some of the first RICO prosecutions were what they call blunders. They've tried to prosecute Rafe Webman with the shit in D.C. Jay Stevens was the prosecutor Volkov might have been a part of it, but Jay Stevens' name was in it. They had to get assistance from lawyers in New York City to prosecute it because the RICO laws were so complex, they hadn't even used them in the District of Columbia yet. They were so afraid and intimidated to use the laws in the District of Columbia, they tried to take certain crews to DC Superior Court, which is our lower court, for conspiracy charges. The RICO is a complex thing, bro. You got dudes that spent 30 years fighting it. I done followed some of my buddies to fight that RICO shit for 30 some years. It's constantly evolving, constantly changing. But it was always created to hold motherfuckers accountable for shit that they did, shit that they didn't do that someone else did while they wasn't there, as long as they benefited from it or directed it or had something to do with it or was a part of somebody else. Like, for an example, RICO got such broad tentacles that if I'm a part of a racketeer, influence, corrupt organization or continual criminal enterprise and I'm in Washington, D.C. and another one of the dudes is in L.A. and the dude is running the players out of Michigan, I don't even have to know the guy from L.A. as long as I participate in the activity. I'm a part of it. Why you think on some of these RICO Jones, and that's another reason why niggas be telling. You got dudes on these RICO conspiracy cases, right? They got co-defendants in the matter that they never met. Now, think about this. Diddy went to trial on this RICO shit. Excuse me 1 second, y'all. Diddy went to trial on this RICO shit by himself, right? Somebody reminded me that R. Kelly went to trial by himself, but I don't remember if R. Kelly, was that a RICO or not? I ain't reading the comments yet. I stopped it right there because I want to read Rising Phoenix Jump. But my point is, I know dudes that got RICO cases from DC and Baltimore where it's 18, 40, 30 defendants. Some people never seen each other, never spoke to each other, don't even know each other. How can you really get a case like that all the way squared away? And then, aside from the witnesses that they use to create the, I ain't gonna say create, to get the indictment, because you know most of them RICOs come from motherfuckers telling and wiretaps and video surveillance. But by the time the other people want to jump on ship and cooperate with the government, you got dudes saying, man, I don't know that nigga, I don't give a fuck about that nigga, such, and then they go tell on the nigga. You don't even know him. How can you defend it? Then they got ghost drugs in the feds, whereas though this rat say, man, yeah, I used to buy 10, 15 keys from Slim. There's no proof that he had the keys. If the lawyer get the investigator go out on the street and do some footwork, nigga ain't even sell keys. Like, that RICO Jones is made for invisible shit to come back and bite you. And then the federal sentencing guideline is made to cheat almost. Imagine a game being over. You know, when the jury say guilty or not guilty, the game is supposed to be over, penalty-wise, as far as I'm concerned. But when the jury leaves the room, it's almost like the game being over and they giving the government an opportunity to shoot 15 more shots in a basketball game. Why do I say that? Because when they create the pre-sentence report, they go back and put all your other bad acts in there, all your other relevant conduct, and then they give you points for the shit. So everybody locked in right now on what experts are saying. Did he gonna get 2 to 5 years? Did he may get 10 years? I seen one dumb motherfucker say he's facing 20. He's not. It's 120 months on both charges, so I guess they add that up, but they rarely sentence you like that. Federal court is like a boxing match. You know how boxing is one of the only sports you don't know the true score until the end of the fight? Like, you see ConcuBox scores and what other people have on their scorecard, but you never know the official score of a boxing match until it's over and you see the official judging card. That's how federal court is. Until the PSI come back and the probation officer assess his prior bad acts, which is relevant conduct, and they give him all extra points, we gonna see. The experts saying like 14 points. Somebody in here that knew the law put in there about 14 points too. I don't know what I'm gonna guess right now because I ain't looked at it, but everybody else just guessing. He paid millions. Diddy was a legit businessman. He was just a freak motherfucker in his personal time. I don't think he no different than any of them big bosses. That's to be honest too. Rudy Giuliani or whoever the fuck, however the fuck you spell it. Yeah, Rudolph Giuliani. I know what you saying. Y'all seen he tried to bust it. He tried busting in a girl he thought was 14. I ain't read that. I don't know about that. I ain't see that now. They've been investigating Diddy since the 90s. Yeah, but not New York City. You're right, it was Blakey. I'm lost. You said you're right, it was Blakey. Oh, you talking about the case? Oh, Blakey. That's the. Give me a little short bio on Blakey. That's the dude that must have created the RICO. How soon do you guys think Cassie's husband stays? How old? I say under 5 years. He gonna get spousal support. Now, pin this here. Everybody can change their mind, and relationships go sour sometimes, right? She just laying on the ground like she did. But if Cassie husband and her fall out, whenever he tell his story, Cassie might be a asshole. Who knows? Keep talking about Cassie and victims of abuse and all this other shit. Like, I dig all that, bro. But now that it's over, for her to write that letter like that, come on, bro. You got $30 million out the man. I thought it was 20 million. Rayful the Rat. What about him? Run that RICO whack on the NYPD. You could definitely do that the same way then. What's up, dude? In my honest opinion, Cassie is not a victim, but a willing participant. Yeah, but listen, for the sake of women, I don't care what she do, she ain't supposed to be physically abused like that. I'm going to give women that, black or white. Like, and I'm saying that in conjunction with everything else that goes on as far as domestic abuse. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that a dude, no matter what she did, you supposed to stomp her out, smack her out, drag her all up and down the floor. Like, I can only see. I ain't gonna do that. There's no video of me that will ever surface of me smacking, stomping, kicking a woman, even when I was in some younger, wilder, dumber age. I ain't never did that. But I'm not gonna sit here and judge him for that. I don't know what they was going through. They already doing some shit that I don't do. The whole swinger shit, like like psychologically, a lot of shit was going on with them, and they were on drugs. Let's not act like they just using drugs. You know, a lot of times people go to court and they use the term like, "Oh, I was on drugs. I was suffering from drug abuse," and it be regular shit like crack or heroin. They on. They, you know what I mean? They a real drug addict. Not that these other people are not real drug addicts. I'm gonna make my point right here. But these people is on Pink Girl, the shit to keep you up all night, the shit to take you down. And they can have it at their disposal at any time. And all other type of designer party drugs. They're behaving in a whole nother level. Like, that's gonna bring out the worst in the nigga. Robert Blakey. Appreciate that, man. That's what I love the crew for. G. Robert Blakey. See, so we done learned something. For those that don't know, we're going to take a time out right now. G. Robert Blakey created the RICO, y'all. Rudy Giuliani gets a whole lot of FaceTime for it because he learned how to use it correctly, specifically in New York. And he brought down La Cosa Nostra according to what he did with that. And Rudy Giuliani also broke. I ain't gonna say he broke, because Nicky Bombs was breaking anyway, but Rudy Giuliani is the one that advocated for him to get out of jail after he turned. I don't know if Giuliani really broke him, because they say that Nicky Bombs was up there in Marion and the cell walls was closing in on him, beating his ass. And he had heard, I don't even like when they say learned, he had heard that allegedly dudes out his crew wasn't paying homage. They was hitting his girlfriend and wasn't paying him. By the way, I don't care if any of that happened, I still ain't telling. I'm still not sending you to jail. But he got with Rudy Giuliani and did that. But G. Robert Blakely, I believe I'm saying that right, Blakely, he is the guy that created the RICO Act. Please get a job, I got a job. Why don't you get some business? Frico, not Rico. I seen that everywhere lately. Run the likes up, folks, please, and thanks, salute. Judge Gibson, 15. He can get it though. I don't think he gonna get no more than 10 years. And for what he's done and what he's been through and what he's lost, I don't think he should get more than 5 years, to be honest with you, bro. And I'm only saying that based on what they found him guilty on. I'm not even gonna get into this conversation, this public opinion conversation. Oh, you don't believe this? Like, you got motherfuckers right now that argue if OJ did it or he didn't do it. Bruh, you can't have it both ways. You can't say that I believe in democracy and jurisprudence and the American justice system for those that say that. And then the jury comes to their conclusion, and then you don't take it. You don't accept it. Nah, bruh. That's not how it works. Now, me as a defendant, I can always say, nah, I don't like the way it works. But guess what? I got to go sit in jail and file an appeal. I filed an appeal on one issue on my case that took 60 months to resolve. 60 months, for those who don't know or don't want to do the math, is 5 years, bro. Can you imagine you saying, oh, that's wrong, that's not right? They say, yeah, we'll see you when you come back to court. And you don't come back to court for 19 months. Damn, in 2 years. So, if jail ain't teach me nothing, it taught me something about patience. Whoever you are, Christopher Lamont, he said, E, why haven't you shown us your paperwork? I did a video on my paperwork, but before I get into some slick shit with you, let me ask you what you want to see about my paperwork. My paperwork is public. What do you want to see about my paperwork, Christopher? Matter of fact, let's talk about it real quick for a minute while you appear to be approaching correctly. Michael Steele is the new Johnny Cochran. Nah, we ain't gonna give him Johnny Cochran yet. He a beast. He beat some bullshit ass RICO cases. He beat some RICO cases. Now, tell him go get on that little Dirk defense team or go get on that Big U defense team and we'll see if he really a bad motherfucker. This Puff junk wasn't a RICO, but like I told the dude the other day, dude said a lesser dude would have got out of jail today. I said a lesser dude would have been found guilty. So let's not act like that wasn't Puff and that wasn't Steele and that wasn't a bullshit RICO. If that was a bona fide RICO, they had some drug dealing. They had Puff on the phone talking about bricks. They had another nigga on the phone collecting money. They had the little white dude tell about the little teeny drugs on the plane and shit. Those personals. But a couple hundred keys would have been in play, and they could really make this shit look like, yo, this is a front. This is not a. No one can take away Biggie Smalls. No one can take away SWV and all these notorious. Craig Mack, Black Rob, Loon. Nobody can take that away. Nobody can say that was a front. Clyde Davis, Sound Scan, Ass Cap. Everybody is going to stamp and vouch and validate that Diddy made hundreds of millions of dollars with liquor and music and clothes. Like a lot of these niggas, like for an example, let's use Meech and them case. If they remember, Meech and them ain't even had no asset forfeiture. Like if you talk about Ishmael Forbay from where I'm from, he got $108 million forfeiture. Meech and them ain't get a forfeiture for nothing. There was no money to take or forfeit. Then I'm not saying they ain't had no money put up in this and that. I'm saying it ain't come with no forfeiture. You dig what I'm saying? So if we go into certain things like that with Diddy, just like dudes are making an example right now, that they would have hit him on RICO, they'd have took shit. If they could have proved RICO, they supposed to took the shit. That's another reason why I'm glad that he didn't have a RICO case, bro. Diddy case is what pardons are for. if he would have got found guilty of the RICO, Trump and them, even if somebody thought about pardoning him, they're not gonna pardon him for that transportation for sex trafficking. He can deal with that by the time he put in the paperwork to get pardoned, unless it's done by Brittany, unless it's done by a young boy lawyer. He got in and got out of jail before the shit was even over with and got a pardon. G. Robert Blakely did create the RICO Act. Yeah, I got that. He gets 84 months on both counts ran together. That's the high end of it. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that the Fed shouldn't put RICO in there. That's their mess up. And I agree with you, Phoenix, Rising Phoenix. That they shouldn't have charged him with RICO, but without RICO, it wouldn't have been a salacious, celebrity, big-time New York state of mind case. They wasn't going, and they can't take, remember, you have to do something to make the feds come. For an example, anybody that follow like mob history, in Italy, Sicily specifically, and other countries that the mob, La Cosa Nostra, supposed to have been in, they are known to use bombing. They have used bombing in at least New York, Philadelphia, and Chicago in this era and time. Not like right now, I'm talking about between now and 1900, right? But mob bosses learned and understood that if you use a bomb, it brings the ATF, right? Alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives. If you use any explosive, it takes the crime outside of the hands of the local police, even the state police, and it puts it in the hands of the feds. So organized crime bosses, they do and go out of their way to avoid the feds coming. Just like, for an example, certain organized crimes don't allow their underlings to cross the border or state lines with certain things. Bank robbery. Some organized crime factions won't allow bank robbers to be in their foes. Why? Because soon as there's a bank robbery or kidnapping, the feds come. So I'm saying that as long as Diddy ain't do nothing to bring the feds, even all the way down to tax evasion, he shouldn't have been in no federal court. The Cassie shit, I keep forgetting where that shit happened at. Out west somewhere, I believe. That Cassie shit was supposed to be in state court if it was anywhere, but Cassie forfeited. Cassie forfeited her right to press charges. She went for the money. She didn't even want him to go to jail. She didn't want to charge, bro. But now she knows she got on that stand to send him away for life. She knew what she did. So if she says she's in fear for her life now, technically that might be true. Racketeer, influence, and corrupt organization. Now, where does Diddy fall in there? I don't get it. KLM. I've been saying that. I mean, I like that you saying it from that perspective because that's what I said. Racketeer, influenced, and corrupt organization. Where the... Now, I understand. Hold on. Let me try to explain this to you. And I hate to do this like that, but they trying to say that Diddy and his businesses are the entity of security, his partner, his main man. They gonna make... Bruh. So they gonna make it up like Bad Boy Entertainment, Revolt, Ciroc. Any of them businesses he got is the A-team, right? You got a Hannibal, you got a Mr. T, you got a Murdoch. Come on, bro. That shit is too much TV. That shit sound like Power. You absolutely right on that RICO, fam. It wasn't necessarily Giuliani. You're right. Yeah, okay. But Giuliani is the face of that crap. Giuliani is me? Oh. Giuliani did become the face of that because he learned how to use the laws. Like, for an example, I got a, like Fly. I do a lot of interviews with Fly on my channel, right? This police officer, this federal agent, I believe his name was Dan Sparks. Piece of shit. He didn't fully understand the RICO laws, but he had seen other prosecutors using them. And he was an FBI agent that was working in Virginia and was focused on Fly in prison. Focused on a prison nigga, a jail nigga. What he did was he tried for 4 or 5 years using the RICO laws, not understanding how to get them because he the agent and no prosecutor would do it. Finally, he got a prosecutor's ear after he got witnesses to come and say, yeah, Fly ran the whole prison. He made $700,000, $1 million from his jail cell. He got people killed. They take your stories and they take this, not your stories, let me sound to say that. They take them stories from them rat niggas. Take them to the prosecutor. The prosecutor organized that shit in a paperwork file. Present the shit to a grand jury. Depending on how eloquent the prosecutor speak, the grand jury going to indict. And then it's up to you, like Diddy. Remember this. This a pet peeve for anybody who think they know the law. Some of the shit about law is very simple. I'm gonna say it in a simple way. It is not up to the defendant to prove that he is not guilty. The burden of proof falls on the government. It is up to the prosecution to prove that you are guilty. Now, it's an easy way for people to say innocent to proven guilty. We know that shit don't apply to some of us. But Diddy and them just showed you, for people to think that, oh, you got to get on the stand yourself. That's not always a good idea. Sometimes you can. Or you got to put witnesses on the stand for yourself. Watch how Steele and Diddy's team just dealt with this. For anybody who interested in law, right? They addressed this matter where they left the whole burden of proof up to the government and the prosecutor. They left the whole burden of proof up to that. No, I'm just saying you don't be doing that like that, but that's cool. But I'm saying this is big. Not Bama though. Okay. Not to me. Shout out to Delaware. What's up? He beat her. He beat her, and Diddy tried to drag her back to a freak off. That's some pimp activity. Yeah, but they wasn't selling pussy though. But I dig what you're saying, and the only reason I'm defending and saying that she wasn't selling pussy is because if it was for him to be selling her body to another, then they could bring in the man act and it could be federal. But the only reason I defended it that way is because I'm defending what I said when I said that at the most it shouldn't have been nothing but domestic violence. It shouldn't have been nothing but domestic violence. And I stand on the fact that domestic violence is a state charge. I'm not even saying that the government shouldn't charge. I'm not one of them dudes that believe in anarchy, right? We live in this country, that's their rules. I don't make the freaking rules. I got my own code of conduct, but I don't make the rules. The rules say that that's a DV. You want to put them in. You want to put them in therapy. You want to put them in anger management. You know, man, they found that man guilty of RICO, bro. They gave that man 20 years up to life. Some motherfucking way. You don't do that about no goddamn domestic violence. And this is for Tisa Tales and the people like that, Nancy Grace and them. Y'all are disrespecting. I'm talking to y'all right now. Y'all are disrespecting the American jurisprudence system and this whole system of law and justice when you saying, oh, Diddy is a bad person, found him guilty of RICO. That's not what the fuck he did. So, like, people that think that they are representing for abused women, I got you. I dig that. But if you're going to represent for abused women and victims of abuse, you don't do it by saying overcharge him and charge him with something he didn't do. You charge him with the fuck you saying he did. You saying he raped you? Charge him with rape. You saying he beat you up? Charge him with assault, battery, domestic violence. You don't charge him with no fuck. RICO is for gangsters, bruh, or white collar criminals, bruh. RICO is not for a freak off. Like they say, not freako RICO, bruh. Think about it. Think about it. For anybody who think I'm saying something that's on some bullshit, go look up RICO. Just like how we just explained to some of y'all how Robert Blakely is the one that created the RICO, and Giuliani and a couple of these dudes maybe perfected it, or at least got it down to the point where they understand how to use it, the dynamics of it. That ain't what RICO was for, bruh. Why you think they ain't charging nobody else? If Diddy is the boss, he the big shot, he the top, he the kingpin on the RICO, the leader. No one is under him. He has no enforcers charged. Now, I can see they keep saying unindicted co-conspirators. Bro, they don't even have an enforcer charge. They don't have nobody else that got no fucking, what's the word, immunity for it. Look at the people who got immunity. That look like a RICO crew to you, like somebody gonna make a movie about this and make it a gangster movie. You make a movie about this part of Diddy life, bro. This shit is gonna be this gonna be a courtroom drama. The real crime is that an adult man calls himself Diddy. In my opinion, it was the video that did him in, so they decided to run with it and say, got him. Yeah, I mean, the video, but listen, you know that video gonna come back to haunt him again. It's sentencing too, right? Because that's something that he's not found, he was not acquitted of. That video, they gonna use that video and all this shit about Cassie scared for her life. I ain't gonna talk too much about it. I already did a video on relevant conduct, but I'm telling you, they gonna use that video and all that other BS in his sentencing. But nevertheless, shout out to that legal team for spanking that RICO junk. Because I'm telling you, they using this RICO shit on the black man like the crack laws now, bro. Like, it ain't fair. Even that state shit, y'all know damn well Young Thug wasn't supposed to be in jail no 3-4 years, however long he was locked. They had Young Thug in jail forever on some bullshit ass charge. Now, they did have murders in that junk, and at least they charged a crew of people, even if they made the crew up. They just tried to take Diddy life, bro. Like, they should be admonished for that shit. They just tried to take Diddy life for freak-offs and bad behavior. Let's say that, because I know a lot of people keep saying, oh, E, you keep telling it's just a freak-off. Bad behavior, unbecoming behavior. That he learned, that he learned in the American way. The fuck, Diddy ain't make that shit up. Fuck out of here, bro. Diddy ain't the first nigga that. Diddy ain't the first and he ain't the last, bro. That's on everything, man. My brother, I feel like they should compensate you for your time lost. What time lost? What you mean? What you mean when you say time lost? Because the only way you're gonna really be able to say time lost is if a nigga did. I mean, if a person didn't commit the crime. What you mean? Like, I did 17 years. I can't say it was time lost that they took. I pled guilty to the offense. Hey, what happened to that nigga that said something about show your paperwork? Not to mention that everything is in his mama's name. That's good. No RICO, he must go. Why you tripping, bro? Show the proof of your lie, or you lie. I don't know what you're talking about. The judge already showed that he was partial to the prosecution, so I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't give Diddy the max. Ransom Phoenix said it was not Cassie that blew this case open. If you see on one of 50 interview, he said that Jamie Foxx and others went to the feds. And because Cassie already got paid off for whatever it was, okay, and the video from the hotel. Anytime you cross state lines, it's feds, yeah, with anything. That Cassie was damn near a domestic dispute. Yeah, bruh. He didn't even, like, they told stories and showed pictures of him. They said he punched her and he knocked her head into a bed and she had to get plastic surgery and all this. I ain't condoning none of that shit nowhere. It don't make me no motherfucking difference. But that hotel junk, it just looked bad. He didn't bust her face up. He didn't do nothing. What he did that was totally inappropriate for the camera's sake was drag and kick her. The little kick he did wasn't even, she just put her hand on her butt. He kicked her in the butt. Now, do you supposed to do that? No. If that was my sister, I'd have fucked Diddy up. But that's not what the situation is. I probably would have fucked my sister up in there fucking Diddy and another nigga too. Knowing me, I probably smacked the shit out of my sister. Then I'd have had a domestic. Oh, man. Another day in D.C., what's up? Them disgruntled security guards started a lot of this shit. Yeah, that's what they say. This world is crazy for being a freak. It's not called a reek. I like the way you said that, John, bro. Being a freak is not a reek. Yeah, but let me ask y'all that. I'm just joking around, though. But for all my thorough men, you don't got to be a gangster. I said men. If you caught your sister in there with Diddy and another nigga, and Diddy and kicked your sister in the butt, what would you do? This is for men. I don't care if it's a woman in here that's tough enough to answer the question. If you caught your sister in the hotel, she had her phone on FaceTime while all that was happening, you see it. You see it. And you rush to the hotel, if that's possible, and you catch your sister, Diddy, and the Punisher in the hotel room. After you go off on Diddy, how you gonna dress your sister? There are certain people at high levels that will always try to manipulate the people to believe the unbelievable facts. What's up, B? What is the guidelines for the two he was found guilty of? I know the time range is up to 10 years. I don't know what his guidelines are yet. I can't make that up. A lot of experts call themselves calculating his guidelines at 14 points. 14 points is between something like 27 months. It's between 27 and 50 months. Somebody said it was lower than that, but like 2 to 5 years. Let me not say it in months because I don't want to miscalculate the months. But according to the experts, they say 14 months might add up to 2 to 5 years. 14 points might add up to 2 to 5 years. I'm not sure yet, though. Absolutely disgusting. What's disgusting? What kind of fool would look at all that evidence and find him not guilty? None of your business. I ain't gonna get into it with you about all the evidence pertaining to the women, but do you believe, I think you must have just slid through, do you believe that what they showed evidence was guilt of RICO? A racketeer, influence, corrupt organization? He ain't make no money. I mean, he could have made some side money and some side connections off of it, but he didn't monetize the freak-offs for real. Judge takes impact statements. Yeah, but remember this. Even when the judge get impact statements, the PSI is already put together. Most impact statements are in the PSI. Okay, none of your business said this man has killed people. I don't know that to be true, and he's not charged. I'm only judging the legality of this court proceeding. They didn't present any evidence of him killing anybody in this case. A few minutes ago, I spoke on real RICOs. If they would have had evidence of murders and they could have proved it, then it would have gone into this RICO case. And even if they didn't find him guilty, they could have penalized him for it. That's how that RICO joint run up to life. But they didn't allege that he killed anybody in this right here. Like, that's a public opinion. Even if it's a fact, even if you've seen it with your own eyes, right? They didn't charge him with that. This is why I'm saying he did. He knew he was being investigated a long time. Somebody tipped him off. It was Cassie's video that kind of got into the mix because they couldn't get him for other things. Somebody said, can you prove that? It's not about what you know, but what you can prove. Well, in the federal court, it ain't just about what you can prove either. It's also about what people are saying. Hold on 1 second. He ain't got no time lost. He isn't innocent. Per the government, Cassie and that other woman are 304s. What's that? What's a 304? Can you prove he killed those people, yes or no? Hey, Eon, why did they call that dude the Potomac River rapist? Was he raping all his victims? According to the ones that they were looking into, yeah, it was a trail up and down the Potomac. Even the ones that he didn't do Did, but I mean, that's what they allege. I don't know. Like, I ain't the police. You know what I'm saying? Diddy not guilty. Laugh out loud. All you idiots were wrong. It was more like a past domestic violence fallout. I like the way he just worded that. I mean, not that he called you idiots, but that's what I saw. None of your business. None of us watched the trial because it wasn't televised. We had to rely on reports from others in the courtroom. None of us heard the full evidence or testimony, only highlights. That's a fact. He paid her ass $20 million a long time ago. That whole case was whack as hell. Okay, see, now we got some different people coming up in here. Cassie got kicked in the liver and then went and put baby oil on her body. Why didn't she go to the police at the time? I can't answer that one. I don't want to answer that. I don't know what you mean by that one right there. If she keep going back, who's it on? I don't want to blame the victim if we talking about the situation like that, because I done seen a whole lot of clinical shit and physical shit where out of love and fear, some women go back to abusers. I mean, they got documentation about some of this shit. Yeah, exactly. None of your business. Cannot prove anything except throw behind the screen. All right. What's good? What's good? What it do? Truth be told, the crazy thing about society is all this ridiculous, all this ridicule about Diddy and what he was doing, and 95% of everybody else is doing it. They just haven't got caught. Okay, what my mind say? What I mean was you being behind those walls for such a long time when all they had to do was just plead you out. But then again, that's how the system works, corrupt. Yeah, but anything Diddy would have copped to was going to be more than what he just got in trial. Conviction-wise. Why did the five fingers say? Why did they say? You already know. They should have let him go. Them 2 charges is weak. He's a first-time offender. Nah, he ain't a first-time offender. He pleaded guilty to that other junk where they just downgraded it to that shit with the music exec or whatever it was. I think they let him plead out to some small shit, threatening or something. But he got a conviction. And they gonna use that conviction in his points. I don't get involved with lover squads. I did it before, it turned out bad for me. Well, that's what I done learned over the years, that you don't supposed to. Somebody said he low on the scale. Yeah, the points ain't high. Remember, dudes that get life be at 40 points. They estimating his points to be at 14, 12. Those moderate points. Very moderate. He was found not guilty. That case was weak. The Southern District of New York is sick. He got time served. Bro, he went to jail in like September. Why you say time served? I think the judge is going to give him the max because he was getting mad at Diddy in the courtroom for signaling the drawers with his nods and head shakes. Yeah, he was indirectly, subliminally communicating with the jury and the judge all the way to the end. I mean, even his what's the word I'm looking for? Even his antics, the praying, the love, the high. They let him get away with a lot of shit. They let him communicate with the gallery a lot. Like, I know dudes that's not nowhere near sophisticated as him. They won't even let them niggas talk in the courtroom. Them niggas might look back at you and give you a nod. The marshals in D.C. Superior Court and D.C. Federal Court, they ain't playing no games, bro. And if you got a big case and you got a bunch of people in the gallery, they bring more marshals in there. I was in the joint the other day for a nigga verdict. He got found not guilty. They had 15 marshals in the joint, 2 marshals at the door and 2 marshals outside the door. It has a 95% conviction ratio. They were big game hunting and laws. Yeah, they did. They jumped out there, but they shouldn't have overcharged him. I think they overcharged him thinking he was going to cop. I don't know why they overcharged him like that, bro. I think they was trying to show I think they was trying to show a posture of aggression or seriousness or something like that. Like, they should have never came at him with that. I think when they came at him with RICO, they thought he was going to fold. Diddy showed you he still got some balls. But that wasn't just about money. That wasn't just about money. That was a hell of a gamble. A whole lot of other niggas would have begged for a cop. A lot of niggas would have jumped on 10 years. If they would have offered him 10 years, my opinion would have been that he should have jumped on it. But he knew better. Oh, 304 is another name for prostitute. I didn't know that. You just told me something. Cassie was stealing. She said she did that shit. Cassie also has gashes to her head. They gave her bleeding in her brain, according to her doctor. I ain't gonna take that away though, Rising Phoenix. Diddy finish no matter? Diddy ain't finished, Portia. I don't think so. Why you think he finished? He ain't washed up. When he come home, he still got fans and support. They was out there spraying baby oil. They was out there spraying baby oil. Man, them women were down with the bullshit. There's no way one man can do all that by himself. So if that's the case, where are the rest of those criminals who held these girls captive? They lying. Jabon, you really changed your tune with this shit. Shout out to the chat though, man. Cassie was never a victim. Somebody said she was a victim of domestic violence, though. If a person put their hands on you, that's the definition of the crime. You want this? Oh, Cassie. Cassie talking about she had the upper security. Bruh, you got $30 million. At the most, you can spend $500,000 on the top security around. You can get designers to protect you for $30 million with the AI dogs and all type of shit, with the weapons attached. And he said they hired hookers. Do you understand when you hire a hooker and transport them to another state? That's sex trafficking. No, that is not sex trafficking. People think that's sex trafficking. That's transportation for prostitution purposes. Sex trafficking must involve fear, fraud, or coercion per the law. Fear, fraud, or coercion. They paid those motherfuckers to get on them planes happily and come over there, and a lot of them was male sex workers. You really think the male sex workers was operating off of fear, fraud, or coercion? Cassie's text messages already say she wasn't operating off of fear, fraud, and coercion unless it was psychological and she didn't mention it. Man, Diddy gonna take a book out Murray Burry, Joe. He gonna go to jail, get religious, and come home a changed man. That's the he's not gonna do no complex. Diddy gonna go to jail, pray, work out, help a bunch of motherfuckers out, try to clean his name. He donates hundreds of millions of dollars to charities already. And he gonna come home and he gonna say he learned his lesson and he's redeemed. I don't know how he's gonna behave. It's not for me to judge him. But if you look at him and you study him as a chess game revisited, you know how they mark down the moves in the chess game, and some chess games are legendary throughout history. If you look at Diddy's life, not just from this juncture, but all the other mistakes he made, one thing the dude do, he recreate himself. Puff Daddy, Puff Diddy, Diddy, Love. He gonna come home, he gonna be something else. I wouldn't be surprised if he came home Muslim. But for sure, he ain't gonna get a lot of time. He gonna be king in the yard. He not going wherever he go. Just by him knowing he's not gonna be there forever, he gonna be good. And he gonna change some niggas' lives while he there. He gonna get straight to the joint and he gonna put he ain't gonna do that big meat shit and make no BMF crew. He ain't gonna make no bad boy crew. He gonna have motherfuckers that's important that's on the yard around him. And he ain't do no hot shit on this case. Now, I don't want to go back to that Shine shit because I don't know all that shit. They say some wild shit on that shit, but don't nobody care because don't nobody remember. Puff was never charged with the defaced AK-47. 3 of my bros had pistols. not defaced. First charge and got 5 to 15 years in NYC. Yeah, but technically, Puff was not in possession of those weapons. And although they say, and they got pictures, but at this time it's still alleged because it's not proven. They allege that they got the weapons out of Puff's house. Puff was not there. So legally, at the most, that's called constructive possession. He'd have beat that shit out the park like Babe Ruth. He never possessed them in. His house was occupied by people when they raided. That ain't no case you want to play with. Now, federally, during sentencing, they might play with him on that. They gonna say that these joints was in there and all that other shit, but he didn't have direct possession of them at the time. And the way he lived his life, you can't say that he always had control of his residence. Diddy was wrong, but let's be real. There are plenty of women who will go through what Cassie went through just to live that billionaire lifestyle and to walk away with 30 million. And I ain't saying she deserved anything. I honestly believe Cassie would never went to. After she got that money, bro, FaZe was going to charge her ass. Well, they used her and she didn't want to, but they was going to charge her. But what about this letter that she wrote afterwards? When they were asking the judge for bail, the judge said, nope, not finding someone else. Not me, find someone else. Yeah, that's what I think that's all about, too. Another judge might go for that. And technically, it's fair. Somebody said Diddy a level 14. His guidelines only 15 to 21 months. I've been hearing 14 for a whole day. It might be somewhere around there, but ain't nobody taking into effect or account. Ain't nobody taking into account relevant conduct, other bad acts. But my legal man said that he believes that's only going to be a 2-point increase, 2-level increase, 2-point increase, whatever you want to. So somebody tell me what 16 points going to get him. 2 to 5 years. That's what I said I thought anyway for Diddy, time served. Man, Diddy would be in a halfway house before the Super Bowl. Somebody said she was a victim for 10 years. That's a question, too. And she ain't scared of Diddy family. He gonna have 15 months time served in October. Shit, he went to jail in September. What you talking about? I gotta run, man. I'll be back, man. Appreciate y'all. We'll see.